Welcome, my soft-thinking listener. You've found yourself in the company of the sleepy sloth once again. A slow, scientifically minded fellow, who enjoys ruins, lint, and other things that mostly remain still. I must tell you something before we begin. Today, I consider myself a scientist in the study of very old buildings. Buildings so old, they have forgotten what it was like to be new. A scientist who is almost always correct, except for those few times when I am not. But even then, I prefer to drift gently onward, rather than fuss over it. Because what truly matters is the information itself. Before I start, please, let me know. What is the most boring thing you would secretly love hearing about? Let me know gently in the comments. Now, let us begin today's episode on the oldest buildings still standing. A very drowsy walk from 9500 BC to 330 BC. We begin with Göbekli Tepe, a name that sounds like a whisper across time. Nestled on a hill in what is now southeastern Turkey, Göbekli Tepe dates from around 9500 to 8000 BC, before pottery, before farming, before cities. It is a set of circular stone enclosures, with T-shaped limestone pillars, some as tall as 6 meters. These stones, arranged in thoughtful symmetry, bear carvings of animals, foxes, scorpions, wild boars, rendered with surprising skill. No homes have been found here. No burial remains. Just the pillars, silent, arranged in sacred geometry. And then, curiously, the site was deliberately buried, as if its makers gently covered their sacred structure in layers of time and forgetting. And now, to Gozo, in the Maltese archipelago, we drift. The Gintia temples, built between 3600 and 3200 BC, are among the world's oldest freestanding stone structures. Constructed from blocks weighing over 50 tons, they were lifted without metal tools, wheels, or modern leverage. Yet, they remain. Their thick limestone walls curve inward like cupped hands. Each temple was roofed, perhaps, with timbers or reeds, now long vanished. And inside, altars, niches, and traces of offerings, bone, ash, and soft pigment. The stone was worked with stone. Rubbed, chipped, persuaded. Over time. No mortar binds it. Just balance. The kind that comes from listening to gravity. To England now, where Stonehenge lies, like an unsolved sentence written in stone. Constructed from about 3000 to 2000 BC, this circular monument began as a ditch and bank, evolving into an arrangement of standing stones, some from local sarsen, others transported 150 miles from the Preseli Hills. These bluestones, weighing up to 4 tons each, were likely rolled on logs or dragged on sledges over land and water. Once placed, they were topped with lintels, joined by mortise and tenon joints carved directly into rock. Their silent shadows move with the sun. The whole site whispers mathematics, in a dialect no one now speaks. And southward, to Saqqara, Egypt, where the step pyramid of Djoser rises like a forgotten staircase. Built around 2650 BC, this is considered the world's first large-scale cut stone structure. Designed by the architect Imhotep, it began as a simple mastaba, a flat tomb, but grew layer by layer into 6 stacked terraces. Its core is limestone, quarried nearby. Underground, a deep shaft leads to burial chambers. Over 4,000 years later, the stones remain dry, warm to the touch, and faintly echoing with prayers. Djoser's name is carved in blue faience tiles, one by one. Each a miniature inscription, hidden below the weight of history. Then, to the Great Pyramid of Giza, also called Khufu's Horizon. Built around 2560 BC, It was once sheathed in polished white limestone that reflected the sun so brightly it was called Iket, glorious light. More than 2 million blocks, some weighing as much as 15 tons, were arranged with precision so fine that modern blades cannot slip between them. The pyramid's base is nearly perfectly square. Its chambers, kings, queens, and mysterious voids, are lined in granite from Aswan, transported 800 kilometers by river. There are no inscriptions, no decoration, just geometry and gravity, and the strange stillness of a mountain made by hands. Let us float gently eastward, to Ur, in southern Mesopotamia, where the ziggurat still rises from desert sand. Built around 2100 BCE for the moon god Nana, this stepped temple was constructed with sun-baked mud brick at its core, wrapped in baked brick for weather resistance. The lower stages remain today, upper levels have long eroded. 3 staircases ascend toward a central terrace. Each step was not rushed but placed with measured care. Bitumen mortar sealed the joints. Its dark gloss still peeks through the dust. Offerings were made here. Incense, bread, a whisper to the sky. The ziggurat's silence is thick with listening. And onward to Luxor, where the Karnak temple complex stretches over 2 square kilometers. From around 2000 BCE to 30 BCE, pharaohs added halls, pylons, obelisks, and sanctuaries. The Great Hypostyle Hall alone holds 134 massive sandstone columns, some rising over 20 meters. Each was carved with scenes, of kings, gods, rituals, then painted in rich, slow-drying pigments mixed with egg or resin. The floor plan twists, resets, and expands. Some doorways open to blank walls. Some walls contain no doors. This was not a single project, but a conversation between dynasties. The stones remember, because they were never told to forget. To Crete now. To the Palace of Knossos. That labyrinthine complex built between 1700 and 1400 BCE. Here, red columns swell downward, wider at the top than base, a visual trick unique to Minoan architecture. The walls held frescoes of dolphins, bull leapers, and lilied gardens. The floors were paved in gypsum, polished until slippery. There were drains, storage jars taller than men, and a throne room with a single stone seat, worn smooth. Some say it was the palace of King Minos. Others, that it was a ceremonial center. Either way, the corridors wander like thoughts. Each turn, another mystery wrapped in silence. And back to the Nile, to Abu Simbel. These twin temples were carved from solid rock between 1264 and 1244 BCE under Ramses II. The facade of the Great Temple features 4 seated colossi, each about 20 meters tall, staring eternally east. Inside, rooms extend back in perfect alignment with the sun, which illuminates the inner sanctuary on 2 days a year, February 22 and October 22. When Lake Nasser threatened to submerge them in the 1960s, the temples were cut into 1,050 blocks and moved 65 meters higher. The relocation took 4 years. The patience of the ancients, met by the patience of engineers. The Great Mosque of Córdoba, built between 785 and 987 CE, stands as a serene testament to Islamic architecture's golden age in Spain. Its forest of columns and double arches creates a quiet rhythm of light and shadow, inviting calm reflection. The intricate geometric and vegetal patterns whisper stories of devotion and artistry, while the vast prayer hall flows gently beneath a celestial dome. This mosque, later a cathedral, embodies centuries of cultural harmony, a slow, unfolding narrative carved in stone and silence. The Palatine Chapel in Aachen, built between 792 and 805 CE under Charlemagne's reign, rises with solemn dignity. Its octagonal core, crowned by a soaring dome, creates a quiet, sacred space where light filters softly through arched windows. The chapel's blend of classical Roman and early medieval styles embodies a whispered connection across time, a sanctuary shaped by devotion and imperial ambition. The intricate mosaics in marble columns hold a steady calm, inviting visitors into a slow, contemplative embrace. Kiyomizu-dera in Kyoto, originally founded in 778 CE and rebuilt in 1633, perches gracefully on wooden stilts overlooking forested slopes. The temple's broad veranda stretches outward, offering tranquil views that change gently with the seasons. Its timber framework creaks softly beneath footsteps, a reminder of centuries-old craftsmanship. Kiyomizu-dera's harmony with nature and enduring presence reflect a slow dialogue between spirituality and the shifting world, where every breeze and petal adds to its quiet story. And we end, for now, at Persepolis, in what is now Iran. Founded by Darius I around 515 BC, the city was built on a wide terrace, approached by monumental staircases with shallow steps. These led to grand halls with columns up to 20 meters tall, capped with double-headed bulls. Reliefs depict tribute bearers from across the Achaemenid Empire, robes, hairstyles, and gifts all carved with obsessive accuracy. The stones are gray limestone. Smooth. Cool. Whispering craftsmanship. The city was sacked by Alexander in 330 BC, but fragments remain. A frieze here. A gate there. Enough to remember how slowly, how gently, empires are built. Let us continue. With the Parthenon. In Athens, Greece. Built between 447 and 432 BCE. A temple for Athena. But also a treasury, a symbol, and a long conversation with the sky. The Parthenon sits atop the Acropolis. A limestone hill overlooking olive trees and slow-moving clouds. Made of Pentelic marble, whose soft white surface turns honey golden at sunset. The Parthenon features 46 outer columns and 19 inner ones. All slightly curved, just enough to fool the eye into seeing perfection. Inside stood a statue of Athena. Once covered in gold and ivory. Now long gone. The stones were cut by hand. With bronze chisels and patience. Every triglyph, every metope. Carved to whisper stories of gods and giants. And now, gently onward. To the mausoleum at Halicarnassus. In what is now Bodrum, Turkey. Built around 350 BCE. This was the resting place of Mausolus, a satrap of the Persian Empire. And his beloved Artemisia. It was so tall, nearly 45 meters, that it cast long shadows over the Aegean. The base was square. The middle was a colonnade of 36 Ionic columns. Above, a stepped pyramid. And at the very top, a chariot, with Mausolus and Artemisia riding together, carved in marble. The sculptors, Scopas, Bryaxis, Timotheus, and Leocharis, were among the finest of their time. Each corner featured reliefs of warriors and centaurs. The structure gave us a word. Mausoleum. Meaning a tomb grand enough to be remembered. Let us drift eastward. To China. Where the early Great Wall began in the 7th century BC. Not one wall. But many. Built by states and dynasties. And later joined. The early walls were tamped earth. Packed in layers. Between wooden frames. Laborers, farmers, soldiers. Pressed soil with feet and stone weights. It dried in wind. Hardened in silence. Later sections would be built in brick and stone. But here, in the beginning, it was soil turned into architecture. The wall did not run straight. It bent with hills. Curved with rivers. Rose with cliffs. Guard towers dotted the ridgeline. Silent lanterns watching over quiet plains. Now west again. To southern France. to the Pont du Gard. Built between 40 and 60 CE by the Romans. This three-tiered aqueduct bridge spans the Gardun River near Nîmes. It is 48.8 meters tall and 275 meters long across its upper level. Constructed without mortar, the stones were cut so precisely they interlocked with gravity alone. Each block was hoisted using wooden cranes and scaffoldings. The channel at the top carried water over 50 kilometers, supplying Roman baths and fountains. The water moved slowly, less than 1 meter per second, just fast enough to keep algae from growing, but not so fast as to splash. And now, we stand before the Colosseum, or Flavian Amphitheater, in Rome. Completed around 80 CE, this immense oval arena could hold up to 50,000 spectators. Its outer wall was made of travertine, a porous limestone, fixed with iron clamps. Inside, barrel and groin vaults allowed crowds to enter and exit without jostling. Underneath the arena floor, the hypogeum, a complex of tunnels, lifts, and cages, operated with winches and manpower, to raise animals and gladiators into view. The original floor was wood, covered in sand. The Latin word for sand, harina, gives us arena. The Colosseum's exterior includes all three classical orders, Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian, one stacked above the other, like a textbook in stone. We move, still in Rome, to the Pantheon, completed between 118 and 128 CE under Emperor Hadrian. The rotunda is 43.3 meters in diameter and height. A perfect hemisphere, resting on a cylinder. The dome was made from concrete, with lighter aggregates toward the top, pumice, instead of heavier stone. At the center, the oculus, a 9-meter wide circular opening that lets in light, rain, and time. The portico outside features Corinthian columns, 11.9 meters tall, made of Egyptian granite, shipped by sea, and floated up the Tiber. The floor inside is sloped ever so slightly, to drain the rain that gently falls through history. We drift gently to Ephesus, in modern-day Turkey, where the library of Celsus still sleeps. Completed in 135 CE, in honor of Tiberius Julius Celsus Ptolemaianus, this library once held 12,000 scrolls, stored in niches within double walls, to protect them from dampness. Its facade, 2 stories of columns and carved figures, is all that remains. But it speaks. The columns alternate between single and paired, a visual rhythm. Statues represent wisdom, knowledge, intelligence, and virtue. The sarcophagus of Celsus lies beneath the entrance steps, not in a crypt, but under knowledge itself. It is said, the reading room faced east, to catch the morning light. Now, to the Basilica of Maxentius, the last great building of the Roman Forum, built between 306 and 312 CE. Once covered in marble and bronze, now a skeleton of arches. Its central nave rose 39 meters, supported by barrel vaults. The design borrowed from Roman baths. Massive, airy, echoing. The ceiling once held coffered panels, sunken squares, to lighten the load. Concrete was poured into wooden molds, then left to cure. The basilica had no pews. It was a civic space, for law, administration, perhaps quiet thoughts. One colossal statue of Constantine once stood inside, 12 meters tall, now scattered in museum rooms. Fingers here, a jaw there, and eastward again, to the great dome of Hagia Sophia, in Istanbul, completed in 537 CE under Emperor Justinian. The central dome, 31 meters in diameter, seems to float, supported by pendentives, curved triangles that bridge a square base with a round dome. The walls are pierced with windows. So the dome appears not to sit, but to hover. Mosaics once covered every surface. Gold, glass, stone. Arranged by hand, piece by piece. The acoustics are soft and endless. A whisper can float across the nave. And through its life, it has been a church, a mosque, a museum, and again, a mosque. But always, a structure for awe. And now, to Ravenna, in Italy, to the Basilica of San Vitale, consecrated in 547 CE. Its octagonal shape is unusual. A circle wrapped in geometry. The central dome rises above alabaster windows, which soften the light into a permanent morning. But the mosaics. Oh, the mosaics. Emperor Justinian and Empress Theodora, robed in purple, surrounded by attendants, frozen in gold. Each tile is a tessera, small, hand-cut, and angled slightly, to shimmer with breath. The columns are reused Roman marble, their capitals carved with lacy foliage. It is not a large church, but it feels infinite when one sits quietly beneath the dome. We remain in water's company, but now return to Venice, to St. Mark's Basilica. Originally begun in 1063, completed around 1094, it is a cathedral, but also a treasure chest. Its domes are Byzantine in shape, filled with mosaics that cover over 8,000 square meters, each tiny piece of gold glass hand-cut and angled to catch flickering light. The floor is paved in marble tiles arranged like flowing fabric. Beneath the altar rests the relics of St. Mark, carried to Venice by merchants in the 9th century. The architecture is not symmetrical. It wanders slightly, like a city built on water. But its beauty is deliberate. Every arch, every column, every shimmer, designed to reflect both heaven and tide. Notre Dame de Paris, constructed between 1163 and 1345, stands as a masterpiece of Gothic architecture, its flying buttresses and pointed arches reaching skyward like whispered prayers. The cathedral's vast rose windows scatter colored light slowly across its stone floors, casting a kaleidoscope of calm inside. Every carved gargoyle and sculpted portal tell stories carved in patience and faith, inviting visitors into a space where time seems to pause. Notre Dame's soaring vaults in quiet reverence hold centuries of human hope in quiet resilience beneath its ancient stones. Let us begin in London, where Westminster Abbey rises, not all at once, but across centuries. Though originally built in earlier times, the Gothic rebuild began in 1245 under Henry III, who wished to be buried there. The pointed arches, the ribbed vaults, the tall, traceried windows, all come from that long era of faith and fanfare. Inside, the air smells of stone and candle smoke. The floor is paved in cosmati mosaic, using bits of marble, glass, and porphyry arranged like a puzzle of quiet stars. Kings and queens lie here. So do poets. The building is not silent, but full of whispers, of coronations, processions, footsteps muffled by worn stone. The construction continued, piece by piece, until 1517. Even now, scaffolding sometimes returns, not to change, but to remember how it was made. Not far, in Paris, a chapel that feels like colored glass pretending to be walls. Sainte-Chapelle, completed in 1248, was built by King Louis IX to house holy relics, including the crown of thorns. The lower chapel is modest, but above the upper chapel is a floating kaleidoscope. Its stained glass windows, 15 soaring panels, depict over 1,000 biblical scenes, arranged like illuminated scripture. Each piece of glass was cut by hand, painted with iron oxide, and fired until translucent. The stone columns are slender, almost apologetic, letting the glass do the speaking. The windows hold not just color, but silence. When the sun moves across them, it feels like time slowing down, tinting the air itself. Now to the southern heel of Italy. To Castel del Monte. Built in the 1240s by Frederick II, it is an octagon with 8 octagonal towers, so geometrically precise that it feels more like a diagram than a fortress. It has no moat, no drawbridge. Perhaps it was not for war, but for thought. The white limestone walls shimmer in sunlight, and inside, the rooms are symmetrical, proportioned by rules lost to time. No one agrees exactly what its purpose was. A hunting lodge? A mathematical observatory? A temple to balance itself? What we do know is that its builders understood shadow and symmetry. The castle sits alone on a hill, like an unanswered riddle carved in stone. South again, to the Alhambra, in Granada, Spain. From 1238 to 1391, the Nasrid dynasty turned this hilltop fortress into a palace of poetry in stone. Inside, arabesques crawl across the walls, inscriptions from the Quran, repeated like lullabies. The walls are not flat, but patterned with muqarnas, stalactite-like details carved in plaster, catching shadows like rainfall. In the Court of the Lions, 12 marble lions circle a fountain, once fed by channels of flowing water. The sound of that water, gentle, ceaseless, is part of the architecture. Every room opens to light, to wind, to a quiet moment of geometry. The Alhambra is not a building you enter, but one you drift through, as if walking inside a story told very slowly. Now, to Normandy, where Mont Saint-Michel rises from tidal flats like a dream balanced on a rock. Built over 5 centuries, from the 11th to the 16th, this abbey clings to a granite island. When the tide comes in, it becomes an island. When the tide goes out, it becomes a hill. The church at the top sits 92 meters above sea level, reached by winding paths, stone staircases, and time. Its columns are Romanesque, then Gothic. Its walls are thick, but its spire reaches like a prayer. The sea around it has risen and receded thousands of times. But the abbey has remained, softly unmoved. Pilgrims once walked here barefoot through mud. Some still do. Let us float across water now, to Venice, where the Doge's palace awaits like a lacework castle on the edge of the sea. Built across the 14th and 15th centuries, its delicate pink Verona marble facade contrasts with its heavy civic weight. Beneath its arches, decisions were made, trials held, trade agreements signed. The courtyard is lined with sculpture, each one shaped slowly by chisels, guided by hands that understood salt air. Inside, gold-leaf ceilings drip softly with allegory. Canvases stretch across rooms like painted clouds. And yet, the building is light. It does not shout. It glimmers. Even the prison cells, connected by the Bridge of Sighs, were carved with surprising care. A palace not of power, but of pause. Eastward now, to Beijing. Between 1406 and 1420, over 1 million laborers built the Forbidden City, the imperial palace of the Ming and Qing dynasties. It contains over 900 buildings, aligned on a strict north-south axis, encircled by a moat and a red wall. The buildings sit on platforms of white marble, their roofs glazed in golden tiles. Vermilion beams. Carved stone dragons. Bronze cauldrons the size of small boats. The layout reflects Confucian order, balance, hierarchy, symmetry. No building is taller than the Hall of Supreme Harmony, and none closer to the sky. The Forbidden City is not loud. Its silence is ceremonial. The kind that honors waiting. To Florence now, where a dome once seemed impossible. But from 1420 to 1436, Filippo Brunelleschi solved the problem. The Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore had waited over a century for a roof. Brunelleschi built a dome without scaffolding, using a herringbone brick pattern that held itself in place. It is over 45 meters in diameter. Double-shelled. Clad in terracotta. At its summit, the lantern. Every brick was laid by hand. Lifted by custom cranes. The workers ascended on narrow stairs spiraling between the two domes. The result is a curve of mathematics and mystery. Still the largest masonry dome in the world. It does not shout. It shelters. And finally, well, not really finally, let us move on to Istanbul, where Topkapı Palace was begun in 1459, completed in 1465, after the Ottoman conquest of Constantinople. It became the home of sultans, and later a quiet museum. The palace is not one building, but many, arranged around gardens, courtyards, and tiled corridors. Domes curve above kitchens, council chambers, and libraries. The harem is a labyrinth of rooms, windows, and silence. Iznik tiles, blue and green and red, line the walls with slow-burning patterns. Nothing is hurried. The palace gates do not swing. They open like sighs. Even the treasury, with its jeweled daggers and golden thrones, feels like a whisper from a closed hand. To Vatican City now, where St. Peter's Basilica rises like a hymn made of stone. Construction began in 1506 and continued, with pauses and ponderings, until 1626. The site is sacred, believed to be the burial place of St. Peter, the first pope. Designed by many hands, Bramante, Michelangelo, Maderno, Bernini, the basilica is a layering of visions. The dome, engineered by Michelangelo, is 136 meters high and 42 meters wide, resting on pendentives like a great thought held aloft. Pilgrims come to see the Pietà, the baldachin, the long nave echoing with footfalls and murmurs. It is not a cathedral. It is not even the oldest church in Rome. But it is, somehow, still the center of a certain stillness. To Delhi now, where Humayun's tomb rests within walled gardens. Commissioned by his widow, Empress Bega Begum, it was built between 1565 and 1572. It is the first major example of Mughal architecture in India, a quiet foreshadowing of the Taj Mahal. The tomb sits on a raised platform, reached by symmetrical pathways lined with water channels, an early form of the Charba garden. The dome is double-shelled. The stone is red sandstone, inlaid with white marble. And inside, beneath the central chamber, lies the emperor, not in isolation, but among family, attendants, historians. The tomb is not crowded, but quietly shared. Like memory. Let us float a short distance to Fatehpur Sikri, an entire city, built quickly, and abandoned almost as fast. From 1571 to 1585, Emperor Akbar designed it as his capital, atop a ridge in Uttar Pradesh. The sandstone glows pale pink, soft red, or deep orange depending on the hour. The city included palaces, mosques, audience halls, and the monumental Buland Darwaza, 54 meters tall. The buildings are symmetrical, but playful. Courtyards open to the sky. Jalis, carved stone screens, filter the light into intricate shadows. But water was scarce. And so, the city was left. Not destroyed. Just walked away from. A still capital of what could have been. Now to London. To a structure more modest, yet quietly revolutionary. The banqueting house in Whitehall was built between 1619 and 1622, designed by Inigo Jones. It is the first building in England clearly influenced by Palladian architecture, clean lines, symmetry, proportion. The ceiling, however, is not quiet. It holds 9 panels painted by Peter Paul Rubens, showing the glorification of King James I. The paintings are full of movement, but they do not move. They wait. It was here, in 1649, that King Charles I was executed, just outside the building. But inside, the columns still stand. The stucco still cradles the ceiling. History can echo in stillness too. To Agra now, where the Taj Mahal floats like a tear, solidified. Built from 1632 to 1653 by Shah Jahan in memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal, it is a mausoleum of love. But also geometry. The central dome rises 35 meters, flanked by 4 slender minarets that tilt slightly outward, to protect the tomb in case of collapse. White marble reflects the color of the sky, pink at dawn, silver under moonlight. Floral motifs are carved into stone. Quranic verses inlaid in black calligraphy. Water channels mirror the structure. But beneath the dome, in a plain chamber, lie 2 cenotaphs. The real tombs are lower still, hidden, deeper in quiet. And onward, upward, to the Tibetan plateau. The Potala Palace in Lhasa, begun in 1649, was completed by 1694. It rests at 3,700 meters above sea level, where the air is thinner and the silence longer. It was the chief residence of the Dalai Lama until 1959. The White Palace served as offices and living quarters. The Red Palace housed chapels, stupas, and libraries of scriptures. 13 stories. Over 1,000 rooms. Built with stone, wood, and copper, layered with white lime and red ochre. Prayer flags flutter on the wind. The staircases are steep. Visitors speak in whispers. But the mountain beneath says nothing. Now. Versailles. The Palace of Versailles, the palace of mirrors, of gardens, of decisions made in satin shoes. From 1661 to 1715, Louis XIV transformed a modest hunting lodge into the seat of royal power. The Hall of Mirrors alone contains 357 mirrors, arranged to reflect light from 17 arched windows, crystal chandeliers, gilded doors, parquet floors, all planned in ratios that please the Sun King. But Versailles is not just a palace. It is a landscape. The gardens, with their fountains, bosquets, and gravel paths, are shaped like thoughts made walkable. No trees grow freely, but no leaf falls unnoticed. Every reflection, every ripple, is part of the performance. And back to London, where St. Paul's Cathedral rises from fire, designed by Christopher Wren after the Great Fire of 1666, construction lasted from 1675 to 1710. The dome is triple-shelled, an inner structure, a visible exterior, and a cone in between that supports the lantern. Its silhouette defines the London skyline. Whispering galleries beneath the dome carry sound across curved stone. The crypt below holds Nelson, Wellington, and Wren himself. His epitaph reads, "If you seek his monument, look around you." The facade, the columns, the clock towers, are not rushed. They balance weight with lightness, grief with grandeur, time with stone. East again, to Vienna. Schönbrunn Palace, begun in 1696 and completed in 1749, was the summer residence of the Habsburgs. Its yellow facade, Maria Theresa yellow, glows warmly in the morning sun. The palace contains over 1,400 rooms. The Hall of Mirrors, the Great Gallery, the Porcelain Room, all delicately ornamented in Rococo style. Gilded stucco, crystal chandeliers, silk wall coverings. But the real stillness lies in the gardens. The Gloriette, at the hill's crest, offers a long view across order. Sculpted hedges, fountains, gravel paths, and somewhere, a maze, where paths lead not to an exit, but gently back to themselves. And northward now, to St. Petersburg. The Winter Palace, built from 1754 to 1762, was designed by Bartolomeo Rastrelli for Empress Elizabeth. It is part of the larger Hermitage complex now. The green and white Baroque facade stretches for over 200 meters along the river Neva. Its windows reflect a city built on water and frost. Inside, marble staircases climb under gilded ceilings. Columns rise. Mirrors shimmer. The small throne room. The Malachite room. Each curated not only for function, but for pause. It was stormed in 1917 but still it stands. Not unchanged, but unshaken. A palace of seasons. A memory made large. We continue our soft stroll through time and stone, as buildings whisper their slow stories. Let us go to the Royal Crescent in Bath, England, built between 1767 and 1774. This sweeping crescent-shaped terrace of 30 houses curves like a gentle smile over the rolling green lawn. Designed by John Wood the Younger, its facade is a continuous, pale bath stone with Ionic columns and sash windows that watch quietly over quiet lawns. Inside, the rooms echo Georgian tastes, symmetry, proportion, and pale pastel walls. The crescent was built not all at once, but slowly, its bricks and mortar settling softly into place. Today, some homes remain private, others offer sleepy visitors a chance to live inside history's calm embrace. To Milan now, where La Scala Opera House opened its doors in 1778. The auditorium's horseshoe shape allows sound to linger like a soft breath through velvet curtains. Its tiered boxes are framed in gold leaf and red silk, catching light without glare. Designed by Giuseppe Piermarini, the theater was rebuilt and renovated several times, but the original charm remains, a mixture of Italian elegance and theatrical patience. Behind the scenes, machinery for curtains and scenery moves with quiet precision, as if respecting the performance's gentle rhythm. The building itself waits, not rushing, but ready to hold sound like a tender cradle. To Berlin now, where the Brandenburg Gate was built from 1788 to 1791. It is a neoclassical archway, made from sandstone quarried nearby. 12 Doric columns form 5 passageways, each wide enough to let carriages and people pass quietly through. Atop sits the quadriga, a chariot drawn by 4 horses, driven by the goddess of victory. The sculpture was once taken to Paris, then returned decades later, its metal surface softening under Berlin's sky. The gate has witnessed empire, division, and reunification, all without haste, standing patiently as stone and bronze do. Across the ocean now, to Washington, D.C., where the White House was constructed between 1792 and 1800. Its neoclassical facade is painted white, the result of lime-based whitewash protecting the sandstone beneath. James Hoban's design balances strength with symmetry, tall windows, columned porticos, and a roofline that hums softly with dormers and chimneys. The paint reflects sunlight in a way that feels steady and calm. Inside, rooms have been repainted, refurbished, but the bones remain, the same floors creaking under gentle footsteps for over 2 centuries. The White House is a home and a symbol, quietly enduring. Nearby stands the United States Capitol, whose initial construction began in 1793 and continued through 1826. This iconic dome did not appear at first, the original building was smaller, a simple neoclassical temple. Brick and sandstone were carried by horse and cart, placed with care. The dome we recognize today was added later, but the foundational walls remain from that first era. Its rotunda is vast yet hushed, with paintings and sculptures telling stories meant not to shout, but to settle softly in the mind. The Capitol is a place of slow deliberation, even when history races. Let us float gently to Paris. To the Arc de Triomphe, constructed from 1806 to 1836. Napoleon ordered its building to honor his armies, but it took 30 years to complete. Made of limestone, the massive arch stands 50 meters tall, its surface is carved with names, battles, wreaths, and figures, each detail cut by hand. Underneath lies the tomb of the unknown soldier, whose eternal flame flickers in soft rhythm with the passing days. The arch frames the Champs-Élysées, inviting slow processions and quiet moments of remembrance. Its stone is weathered but solid, a quiet giant. Back to London now, where the Palace of Westminster was rebuilt from 1840 to 1876 after a great fire. Sir Charles Barry and Augustus Pugin designed it in Gothic Revival style, with pointed arches, flying buttresses, and an abundance of intricate stone carvings. The iconic Big Ben clock tower, completed during this period, ticks steadily without rush. Inside, the chambers echo with debate, but the building itself is a fortress of patience, solid stone walls absorbing voices and footsteps over the centuries. The details, the pinnacles, the gargoyles, the stained glass, were all made by craftsmen who worked slowly, polishing each feature to a soft glow. Nearby once stood the Crystal Palace, built in 1851 for the Great Exhibition. Designed by Joseph Paxton, it was made largely of glass and cast iron, then a revolutionary combination. Its modular structure allowed it to be assembled and disassembled with relative ease. The sunlight passed through thousands of glass panes, creating a soft, filtered glow inside, where plants and displays mingled with visitors' slow footsteps. Though it burned down in 1936, its design influenced architecture for decades, a quiet revolution in transparency and lightness. To the Royal Albert Hall in London, built between 1867 and 1871. Its circular design is inspired by ancient amphitheaters, wrapped in red brick and terracotta. The vast domed roof is made from wrought iron and glass, designed to let in light without glare. Inside, the barrel-vaulted ceiling is decorated with mosaics, musical instruments and composers rendered in painstaking detail. The acoustics were carefully planned, with diffusing discs suspended to soften echoes. The hall holds concerts, speeches, and quiet moments between. It is a vessel for sound, built slowly to hold silence as well. And now, to Bavaria, Germany, where Neuschwanstein Castle was constructed between 1869 and 1886 by King Ludwig II. Its fairy-tale turrets and spires rise from a rocky hill, framed by pine forests and mist. Though medieval in style, it was built in the 19th century, with modern conveniences hidden inside, central heating, running water, soft contrasts beneath its romantic facade. The interiors are richly decorated, with murals depicting Wagnerian operas and legends. Ludwig intended it as a refuge, a retreat from the noisy world. The castle's stone walls absorb the quiet of the forest, and its towers reach upward like slow, deliberate dreams. Now to Barcelona, where Antoni Gaudi's Sagrada Familia has been under construction since 1882 and continues today, as slow as a growing tree. The basilica's soaring spires spiral like shells or sea creatures, covered in mosaics of glass and stone, reflecting the sun's soft light like whispers on water. Gaudí designed the interior columns to resemble trees branching upward, supporting the roof with organic grace, inviting visitors to feel embraced by the forest of stone. The facades tell stories in stone: nativity, passion, glory, each detail carved painstakingly by artisans with steady hands and quiet focus. The building breathes with light, its stained glass windows casting soft-colored shadows on ancient floors, bathing the interior in gentle hues. Though unfinished, it waits patiently for completion, a dream caught between past and future, unfolding slowly like a flower in the morning. We drift now to Paris, to the iron lattice giant called the Eiffel Tower, completed in 1889. Gustave Eiffel's design rose from 18,038 individual iron pieces, joined by over 2 million rivets, tiny metal kisses holding the structure together. The tower's delicate framework was crafted with such precision that its intricate iron bones seem almost to breathe beneath a gentle sky. At 324 meters tall, it was the tallest man-made structure of its time. The iron framework expands gently upward, like a slow exhale, allowing wind to pass through rather than push. Visitors climb its ramps and elevators, feeling the metallic bones beneath their feet, each step a quiet echo of craftsmanship. At night, thousands of lights twinkle softly, like fireflies in a distant forest, casting a calm glow over the sleeping city below. The construction of the Eiffel Tower began in 1887 and was completed in 1889, just in time for the 1889 Exposition Universelle, World's Fair, in Paris. This two-year building period transformed Gustave Eiffel's daring iron vision into a quietly majestic symbol that still stands tall today. Construction of the Wainwright Building in St. Louis began in 1890 and was completed in 1891. Designed by Louis Sullivan, it is an early skyscraper, 10 stories rising modestly, yet towering in its era. Its steel frame allowed walls to be thinner, letting in soft daylight through large windows, which framed gentle views of the quiet streets outside. The building's vertical lines stretch upward quietly, drawing the eye like a whispered invitation, soft and steady. Its decorative terracotta details were handcrafted, lending a gentle texture to the smooth surfaces, each detail a quiet brushstroke of design. Inside, the floors are connected by wooden stairs and elevators that creak ever so slightly, a lullaby of industry that hums beneath the stillness of the day. Construction of the Vienna Secession Building began in 1897 and was completed in 1898 as a manifesto of art's new directions. Its white cubic form contrasts with a golden dome made of 3,000 gilded laurel leaves intertwined like a delicate cage, shimmering softly in the afternoon sun. The entrance features a frieze designed by Gustav Klimt, flowers, eyes, and swirling forms that seem to watch gently, as if whispering secrets to the passerby. Inside, the space is sparse yet purposeful, designed to focus attention slowly on exhibitions meant to challenge and soothe, creating an atmosphere of thoughtful calm. The building's walls whisper modernity with a softness unusual for its time, blending art and architecture in muted dialogue, inviting quiet contemplation. Back to New York City, the Flatiron Building was started in 1901, completed in 1902, a wedge-shaped pioneer on Manhattan's triangular plot. Its steel skeleton enabled its unique shape, tapering to a narrow point like the tip of a calm pen resting on parchment. The facade is clad in limestone and terracotta, with classical detailing that softens the sharp angles, wrapping the building in gentle textures. Windows line the narrow sides, allowing light to dance in slender bands along the floors, creating patterns that shift slowly with the sun. The building gently leans into the wind but stands firm, a quiet punctuation mark in the city's constant chatter, a steadfast presence amidst the urban hum. Continuing in Barcelona, Casa Batlló was transformed by Gaudí between 1904 and 1906. Its facade undulates like waves, covered in ceramic tiles that shimmer softly in the sun, resembling scales on a sleeping dragon. Balconies resemble delicate masks or skulls, while columns mimic bones, each element inviting a slow and careful gaze. Inside, light filters through stained glass, casting soft patterns on curved walls and ceilings, painting the rooms with colors that shift and breathe. Gothi's attention to detail extends to door handles shaped like plants and windows opening with gentle, rounded forms, each touch thoughtfully crafted. The house feels alive, yet calm, like a breath held in the quiet of morning, a sanctuary of gentle shapes. Nearby stands Casa Mila, also known as La Pedrera, built from 1906 to 1912. Its stone facade ripples like cliffs carved by centuries of wind and water, a slow story told in rock. Iron balconies twist like vines, and the rooftop is a surreal garden of chimneys resembling knights frozen in slow vigil, standing watch over the city below. Inside, the spaces are bright and open, with skylights and courtyards inviting soft air and dappled light to wander freely. The building was controversial at first, but now it is cherished, a monument to playful stillness in a bustling city, a quiet retreat of form and texture. To Poissy, France, to Villa Savoie, built between 1928 and 1931 by Le Corbusier. It floats on slender pilotis, columns lifting the house gently off the ground like a quiet breath above earth. Flat roofs serve as terraces where rainwater collects and birds may rest, a soft pool reflecting sky and cloud. Windows stretch across walls like slow breaths, inviting the outside world softly inside, blurring the boundary between shelter and nature. The interior is open and simple, emphasizing light, space, and quiet geometry, a calm meditation on balance and form. This house is a meditation on modern living, pared down to essentials that soothe rather than distract, a gentle sanctuary for the senses. Still in Barcelona, the Pavilion, begun in 1928 and built for the 1929 International Exposition, embodies minimalism and quiet luxury. Designed by Mies van der Rohe and Lily Reich, it features smooth planes of glass, steel, and marble, surfaces that whisper softness and clarity. Walls seem to dissolve, boundaries fade, and reflections ripple softly on polished surfaces, inviting calm reflection. Furniture is sparse, simple chairs and tables that invite slow conversation or silent thought, arranged with quiet intention. Though temporary, the pavilion was rebuilt decades later, a serene whisper of architectural restraint and elegance, a quiet space for peaceful pause. Finally, well, not quite, to New York's skyline for the Chrysler Building, begun in 1928 and completed in 1930. Its stainless steel crown shines like a crown of sunbeams caught in metal, with triangular windows that glitter softly like distant stars. The building's setbacks create a terraced effect, rising like a stepped pyramid toward the sky, reaching upward with gentle ambition. Ornamental eagles perch on corners, while radiator cap motifs decorate the spandrels, a nod to the car company it represents, small details that hum quietly with purpose. Inside, the lobby gleams with marble and chrome, a quiet celebration of the machine age's refined grace, filled with soft echoes. Though once the tallest, it has since bowed to taller neighbors, but remains a beloved symbol of New York's dreams, still waiting patiently for nightfall. We now drift gently to the Empire State Building in New York, begun in 1930 and completed in 1931. This towering Art Deco marvel rises 102 stories into the sky, its limestone and granite facade etched with delicate vertical lines that seem to stretch like sleepy fingers. At its peak, a spire once served as a mooring mast for airships, a quiet ambition touching the clouds. Inside, elevators hum softly, whisking visitors upward through a hushed shaft of history and steel. The building's steel frame, assembled with rivets and laborious care, holds a stillness amidst the bustle below, a silent guardian watching over the city's ceaseless rhythms. Now, to Pennsylvania, where Falling Water was created between 1936 and 1939 by Frank Lloyd Wright. This house gently floats above a babbling brook, cantilevered stone terraces extending like arms over the water. Wright's design embraced nature's slow, patient flow, blending architecture and landscape with soft edges and organic shapes. The sound of cascading water drifts through open windows, mingling with the scent of damp earth and moss. Inside, natural materials, stone, wood, glass, combine quietly, inviting stillness and reflection. Falling Water is less a building and more a whisper between rock and stream, a conversation held in gentle balance. We return to New York for the United Nations headquarters, begun in 1947 and completed in 1952. This complex of modern glass and steel rises calmly along the East River, its reflective curtain walls mirroring slow-moving clouds and rippling water. The Secretariat building, tall and rectangular, seems like a crystal shard floating above the cityscape. Meeting rooms hum with quiet diplomacy, spaces designed to encourage gentle dialogue and patient listening. The international flags outside flutter softly in the breeze, each a symbol of shared hopes and slow, careful cooperation, held in the architecture's transparent embrace. Nearby stands the Seagram Building, begun in 1954 and completed in 1958, a sleek icon of mid-century modernism. Designed by Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, its dark bronze facade is punctuated by narrow vertical fins that shimmer subtly as light drifts across the surface. The building's open plaza invites soft footsteps and quiet moments, a calm breathing space amid the urban rush. Inside, the lobby is an elegant expanse of travertine and glass, where reflections ripple gently and the quiet hum of city life filters in like a distant lullaby. The structure's simplicity is its serenity. To the Upper East Side, the Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum was started in 1956 and opened in 1959, a spiraling marvel by Frank Lloyd Wright. The building's smooth concrete curve rises slowly like a seashell, its gentle ramp inside inviting visitors to drift upward in a slow, flowing journey through art. Light filters softly from the central skylight, bathing the white walls in a quiet glow. The gallery feels more like a sculpture than a box, its organic form a serene counterpoint to the city's rigid grid. Here, art and architecture converse in hushed tones, encouraging a slow and thoughtful exploration. To Brasilia, Brazil, the Cathedral of Brasilia was started in 1958 and completed in 1970. Its hyperboloid structure consists of 16 curved concrete columns that reach skyward like slender fingers gently touching the heavens. Between the columns, stained glass windows filter soft, colored light into the quiet interior, casting gentle rainbows onto smooth floors. The roof's open design lets in breezes and the distant hum of city life, creating a space of tranquil contemplation. The building's form blends modern engineering with spiritual aspiration, a slow-reaching prayer made manifest in stone and light. Drifting now to the Southern Hemisphere, Sydney Opera House was begun in 1959 and completed between 1959 and 1973. Its soaring white shelves rise like frozen waves along the harbor, composed of thousands of ceramic tiles that shimmer in the gentle sun. The sail's graceful curves echo ocean breezes, inviting sound and silence to dance inside concert halls designed for softness and clarity. The building's form seems to float on the water, a slow-motion sculpture shaped by wind, water, and light. Inside, acoustics cradle music like a whispered lullaby, blending human artistry with natural rhythm. Moving to Chicago, Marina City was begun in 1961 and completed in 1964, twin towers resembling giant corn cobs rising beside the river. Their circular balconies spiral gently, each floor a quiet stage for city life unfolding slowly below. The honeycomb concrete facades filter light softly, creating a texture that shifts with the day's changing sun. Inside, a network of ramps and parking weave like silent veins, a machine of calm efficiency. Marina City embodies urban living wrapped in a gentle embrace of curves and quiet utility. In Montreal, Habitat 67 was begun in 1966 and built in 1967 as a modular cluster of concrete boxes stacked irregularly, yet balanced with surprising grace. Each unit is a quiet cube of home, connected by terraces that catch sunlight and shadows in delicate rhythms. The complex feels like a slow-growing village made of stone, a peaceful refuge in the midst of a bustling city. The raw concrete surfaces bear the marks of wooden forms, textured memories of construction's gentle touch. Habitat 67 is a testament to human ingenuity slowed down, reimagined, and softened. In Paris, the Centre Pompidou, started in 1971 and completed in 1977, flips architecture inside out. Its colorful pipes and steel skeleton stretch across the facade like a slow-motion machine exposed for quiet contemplation. The escalators wind through the structure like veins of steel and glass, moving visitors gently upward. Inside, galleries open onto each other, a labyrinth of art and design spaces that invite slow wandering and whispered discovery. The building hums softly with activity yet retains a measured calm, a testament to creative transparency and architectural playfulness. Continuing with London, the Lloyd's Building, begun in 1978 and completed in 1986, shows its insides on the outside, with pipes, lifts, and staircases wrapped around the facade like a mechanical exoskeleton. Its stainless steel surfaces gleam softly, reflecting clouds and light in muted tones. The external elevators glide upward, like gentle pulses of movement, while inside, open spaces echo with quiet hums of business and calm efficiency. The building's design breaks architectural conventions, inviting observers to slow their gaze and appreciate the complexity beneath simplicity. Back in New York, the AT&T Building, whose construction began in 1978 and finished in 1984, marks the rise of postmodernism with its broken pediment crown and pink granite facade. The stepped top resembles a broken classical temple, gently referencing history while embracing modernity. The building stands quietly among its glass and steel neighbors, a soft punctuation of form and color. Inside, the lobby's ornate details contrast with the calm flow of business above, creating a space where past and present meet with gentle balance, inviting slow reflection amid the city's ceaseless rhythm. In Paris, the Louvre Pyramid was completed in 1989, with construction beginning in 1984, a glass and metal structure rising softly in the historic courtyard. Designed by I.M. Pei, its geometric clarity contrasts with the surrounding stone palaces, creating a gentle dialogue between old and new. The pyramid's transparent facets catch sunlight and moonlight alike, casting delicate patterns on the ground below. Visitors descend beneath its calm surface into the museum's vast interior, where centuries of art rest in quiet grandeur. The pyramid acts as a crystal beacon, a slow pulse of light and form in the heart of Paris. In Hong Kong, the Bank of China Tower was completed in 1990, after work began in 1985, a striking angular skyscraper composed of triangular facets reflecting the city's shifting light. Designed by I.M. Pei, its sharp edges catch the sun and clouds, creating a slow kaleidoscope of reflections. The building rises like a crystal shard, standing quietly among the city's denser towers. Inside, the lobby features sleek materials and muted tones, inviting visitors into a calm space despite the urban energy outside. The tower is both a symbol of modernity and a meditation in geometry's gentle power. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, with the Petronas Towers, completed in 1998, after construction began in 1992. These twin towers rise 452 meters, linked by a skybridge on the 41st and 42nd floors, an aerial path that sways slightly with the wind but never breaks the quiet bond. The facade gleams with stainless steel and glass, arranged in a repeating geometric pattern inspired by Islamic art, symmetry and repetition as soothing as a slow heartbeat. The towers were the tallest in the world from 1998 to 2004, inviting visitors to ascend elevators moving at a gentle 6 meters per second, barely perceptible to the ear or skin. Inside, the towers house offices, a concert hall, and shopping spaces, quietly humming with the life of the city beneath their steady gaze. In Bilbao, Spain, the Guggenheim Museum Bilbao opened in 1997, its foundations laid in 1993, a swirling, titanium-clad sculpture designed by Frank Gehry. Its fluid curves and folded surfaces catch light like waves frozen in metal, shifting hues softly throughout the day. The museum's interior is a labyrinth of spacious galleries, filled with art that invites slow contemplation and quiet awe. The structure seems to float above the Nervion River, a gentle titan of contemporary design. Its presence has quietly transformed the cityscape, a testament to creativity's slow, enduring impact. Next, we drift to Dubai, where the Burj Al Arab opened in 1999, following its groundbreaking in 1994, shaped like a billowing sail set against the desert sky. The building rises 321 meters on an artificial island, reachable by a private bridge that crosses turquoise waters whispering beneath. Inside, opulent gold leaf and rich fabrics create a contrast to the quiet, steady rhythm of the ocean outside. Its helipad and the grand atrium stretch skyward, both feats of engineering that balance spectacle with serene structural grace. The hotel's interiors are famously luxurious yet intimate, with suites designed to cocoon guests in soft light and gentle curves that echo the surrounding waves. Taipei 101 in Taiwan, finished in 2004, after construction began in 1999, soars 508 meters with its stacked pagoda-inspired tiers. The building uses a massive tuned mass damper, essentially a giant pendulum suspended near the top, that swings ever so slightly to counteract the forces of wind and earthquakes, a slow, balancing dance inside the metal skeleton. The green-tinted glass facade reflects the morning light like a calm lake, and elevators whisk visitors upward at nearly 16.8 meters per second, the fastest in the world at its opening. Its design balances tradition and technology, combining feng shui principles with state-of-the-art engineering to create a tower both resilient and graceful. In Riyadh, the Kingdom Center underwent sensitive renovations and expansions between 2016 and 2020. Construction of the original Kingdom Center in Riyadh started in 1999 and was completed in 2002, and the renovation phases updated and expanded the building. The tower's distinctive sky bridge, shaped like a Vasica Pisces, remained intact, while surrounding podiums gained new retail and cultural facades. Clad in smooth glass and polished stone, the expansions weave modernity into the city's familiar landmark with understated refinement. The lighting scheme below the sky bridge shifted to soft glows, turning the void at dusk into a quiet, floating eye in the skyline. Inside, public spaces echo east-west orientation, and new walkways foster slower pedestrian movement, calm circulation in a bustling district. Now to London, where 30 St. Mary Axe, known as the Gherkin, completed in 2003, with construction beginning in 2001, curves upwards in a tapered, aerodynamic form. Its glass panels spiral gently around the steel frame, designed to reduce wind resistance and create natural ventilation, a building breathing softly through its skin. The interiors feature open floors and curved walls that encourage slow movement and quiet conversations, a workspace wrapped in gentle light. This building transformed London's skyline, proving that modern architecture could blend efficiency, elegance, and environmental sensitivity without shouting for attention. Back to New York City for the Hearst Tower, completed in 2006. Construction began in 2003, rising on a historic 6-story base from 1928, juxtaposing old and new with its diagrid steel frame visible through glass walls. The diagrid reduces the amount of steel needed, making the structure lighter and more environmentally friendly, a quiet celebration of efficiency. Inside, daylight filters through the triangular patterns, casting slow-moving shadows that shift with the sun's passage. The building's green credentials include rainwater harvesting and high-efficiency HVAC systems, making it a pioneer of sustainable skyscrapers. Returning to Dubai, the Burj Khalifa, completed in 2010, after construction began in 2004, remains the tallest building in the world at 828 meters. Its stepped silhouette rises in a spiraling ascent inspired by the desert flower Hymenocallis. The cladding is reflective glass, aluminum, and textured steel, designed to withstand the desert's heat while shimmering softly. Inside, elevators zip at nearly 10 meters per second, passing 160 floors where offices, residences, and observation decks exist in quiet coexistence. The tower's observation deck offers breathtaking views that stretch for miles, inviting visitors to contemplate the city's vast growth and calm desert surroundings. Next, the CCTV headquarters in Beijing, completed in 2012, with work starting in 2004, defies convention with its irregular loop shape, two towers connected at the top and bottom, forming a continuous structure. The building's exterior is a web of steel and glass, engineered to flex and sway gently during earthquakes and wind, a slow-moving dance of resilience. The open plaza below allows sunlight to filter through, softening the edges of this urban giant. Inside, workspaces are arranged with openness and transparency in mind, reflecting the building's forward-looking approach to media and architecture. Now to New York's One World Trade Center, completed in 2014, standing 541 meters tall. Construction began in 2006, and the building's sleek form tapers upward with glass facades reflecting the sky and city. Its base is reinforced with concrete and steel, designed for quiet strength and safety. Inside, advanced systems hum softly to maintain comfort and security, a testament to resilience and renewal whispered in stone and steel. It stands as both a beacon of hope and a functional workspace, its observation deck offering contemplative views of the city reborn. We sail now to Singapore's Marina Bay Sands, completed in 2010, a complex of 3 towers connected by a vast skypark resembling a ship, perched delicately on the rooftops. Construction started in 2006, and the skypark's infinity pool offers a slow, mesmerizing view of the city's skyline and the bay's calm waters below. The tower's facades are smooth glass, reflecting dawn and dusk in muted tones, while inside, grand halls hum softly with whispered conversations. The integrated resort also includes theaters, casinos, and museums, blending leisure and luxury within its sleek architectural lines. In Reykjavik, Iceland, the Harpa Concert Hall opened in 2011. Its construction began in 2007, and its facade is a kaleidoscope of glass panels shaped like basalt crystals, inspired by Iceland's volcanic geology. These panels catch the northern light gently, creating subtle reflections and refracted colors that change slowly through the day. Inside, the acoustics are meticulously designed for concerts, enveloping sound with soft clarity, inviting audiences to drift into musical calm. The building serves not only as a cultural hub but also as a symbol of Iceland's innovative spirit amidst its rugged natural landscape. To Baku, Azerbaijan, for the Haydar Aliyev Center, completed in 2012, after work began in 2007, a flowing wave of white concrete and glass designed by Zaha Hadid. The structure sweeps and curves with no sharp angles, resembling a soft hill or an ocean swell frozen in time. Its seamless skin hides a complex network of support beams and glass panels that catch sunlight and shadow, inviting calm exploration inside. The center serves as a cultural hub, hosting exhibitions and performances, its architecture blurring the line between art and environment. The Elbphilharmonie in Hamburg floats above the harbor like a wave-captured midrise. Completed in 2017, work began in 2007, it is perched atop a former warehouse, where red brick meets shimmering glass. Designed by Herzog and de Muren, the concert hall is wrapped in curved panels that reflect water, wind, and sky. Inside, the auditorium is shaped like a vineyard, with seats that rise around the stage, bringing audience and performer into close communion. Every note played here is cradled by a space designed not for noise, but for resonance. Construction started in 2007 for Abu Dhabi's Capital Gate Tower. The famous leaning skyscraper received modern upgrades in 2023. The refurbishment began in 2022. Its 18-degree tilt remained intact, but curtain wall repairs and lobby renovations refreshed the interior. The facade panels were polished, window systems improved, and digital lighting added to the base of the iconic lean. The updates maintained the tower's playful tilt while softening wear with careful restoration. Inside, reception areas were redesigned with soft curves and diffuse lighting, as though the tilt remained a slow waltz rather than a jarring lean. Shanghai Tower, completed in 2015, spiral 632 meters with a twisting glass facade designed to reduce wind loads and save energy. Construction started in 2008, and the double-skin facade creates an insulating airspace, like a slow breath between two lungs. Inside, high-speed elevators whisk visitors upward with minimal sound, gliding through open, airy floors designed for calm efficiency and quiet contemplation. The tower incorporates sustainable technologies such as rainwater harvesting and wind turbines, quietly leading Shanghai's push toward green skyscraper design. Back to London for the Shard, completed in 2012, a glass spire that pierces the skyline at 310 meters. Construction commenced in 2009, and its jagged silhouette reflects the sky in ever-shifting hues, like a slowly melting icicle. The interiors are filled with natural light, with observation decks offering quiet, panoramic views over the city's green and stone. The glass panels are designed to capture sunlight without overheating, a subtle balance of nature and technology. The building also houses offices, restaurants, and a hotel, all arranged vertically to create a vertical city of calm activity. Beginning in 2010, and completed in 2015, the Museum of Tomorrow stretches along Guanabara Bay with wings that respond to the sun. Designed by Santiago Calatrava, its white steel bones hold a heart devoted to science, ecology, and time. It runs on solar energy and captures rainwater, a structure meant not only to display knowledge, but to participate in sustainability itself. Like a question floating over water, the building invites reflection, not just on where we are, but where we might be going. In Singapore's Gardens by the Bay, the Flower Dome and Cloud Forest Conservatories opened by 2017, forming futuristic glass shells among the supertree grove. Construction started in 2010. Flower Dome simulates a Mediterranean climate, Cloud Forest houses a chilled misty mountain with a living waterfall. Together, they create climate-controlled ecosystems beneath undulating steel and glass canopies. Inside, exotic plants thrive in curated microclimates, nature's breath held inside architecture, softly reminding visitors that life adapts and persists. As sunlight pierces the glass rooftops, shadows dance slowly on rock walls and terraced gardens, soft choreography of light and growth. Washington, D.C.'s National Museum of African American History and Culture opened in 2016. Its construction began in 2012, and its facade is inspired by the intricate ironwork of the American South, composed of bronze-colored panels that filter sunlight softly inside. The building steps down toward the National Mall, grounding itself gently in the landscape. Inside, exhibits unfold slowly with tactile displays and quiet spaces for reflection, inviting visitors to drift through history's folds. The museum offers a powerful, immersive journey into African American history, culture, and art, all housed in a thoughtfully designed architectural narrative. Far north in St. Petersburg, the Lukta Center opened in 2018 as the tallest building in Russia, its spire twisting upward like ice caught in a spiral. Rising 462 meters, construction started in 2012. It houses offices, a planetarium, and public space. The glass skin adapts to shifting light, minimizing energy use while reflecting sky and river. Designed by RMJM and Gore Project, the tower is both futuristic and elemental, its form soft and vertical, like a frozen breath rising slowly into cloud. In London, the Bloomberg European headquarters opened in 2017 as a quiet study in corporate architecture softened by care. Construction began in 2013. Designed by Foster Plus Partners, it is often called the world's most sustainable office building. Its bronze fins and sandstone facade guide in natural light and deflect summer heat. Inside, a central ramp curls gently upward like a scroll being read, leading to open, flexible workspaces where air and people flow with ease. Everything here, from water recycling to filtered light, moves slowly, precisely, with purpose. A circle drawn in the Californian landscape, Apple Park in Cupertino rests lightly on the land, despite its massive scale. Completed in 2017, it was under construction starting in 2013. The headquarters was designed by Foster Plus Partners in collaboration with Steve Jobs' vision of a campus more like a garden than a fortress. The ring is made of curved glass, some of the largest panes ever used, letting nature filter gently through. Solar panels shimmer above. Inside, the building breathes with recycled air, quiet hums, and intentional silence. It is a place of loops and clarity, like an idea slowly taking shape. In Macau, the Morpheus Hotel is a lattice of liquid geometry. Designed by Zaha Hadid Architects and opened in 2018, building began in 2013. Its facade features the world's first freeform high-rise exoskeleton, a net of steel that curves and bends as though woven by hand. The voids at the center create bridges and atriums, framing the sky through gentle apertures. Inside, light trickles down sculpted walls. Even the elevators move through hollowed paths in the structure, like air drifting through coral. Jeddah Tower in Saudi Arabia, expected around 2025, aims to extend humanity's vertical limits beyond 1,000 meters. Though works paused, its tapered, ribbed core is rising anew, encased in repeating horizontal strips that soften scale through shadow and light. The plan includes sky gardens at intervals, hospitality, and engineering innovations to manage desert heat. Even unfinished, it commands silence yet ambition. If completed, it will not only break height records, it will stretch architecture into the rare air of pure idea. Initial construction began in 2013. Construction of Central Park Tower in New York began in 2013 and the tower was completed in 2021, rising majestically along Manhattan's Billionaires Row with its slender silhouette stretching 472 meters into the skyline. The tower's glass facade catches shifting light, reflecting the city's ever-changing mood with subtle shimmer. Designed for luxury living, the building's interiors blend modern minimalism with refined comfort, offering residents panoramic views over Central Park and beyond. Its soaring height and elegant form create a vertical oasis in the dense city fabric, a quiet testament to ambition and grace. At its base, public spaces soften the transition between street life and sky, inviting moments of calm amid New York's ceaseless energy. In Dundee, Scotland, the V&A Museum opened in 2018 like a cliffside carving kissed by sea spray. Construction started in 2014. Designed by Kengo Kuma, the building's concrete layers evoke Scottish rock formations, leaning gently toward the River Tay. Inside, wood and light meet in quiet dialogue. The structure curves not with drama but with calm invitation, drawing visitors toward design objects and thoughtful exhibits. It stands not as a monument, but as a pause, a soft bend in a long story of craft and culture. The MOT, Museum of Art, Architecture, and Technology, in Lisbon began construction in 2014 and opened to the public in October 2016. In 2022, work began on a significant expansion, expected to be completed by 2025. The new development stretches gracefully along the Tagus riverfront, introducing curved pavilions clad in mosaic tiles and topped with green roofs. Designed to harmonize with the museum's original arched form, the extension creates space for outdoor exhibitions and shaded event plazas. It invites reflection, both literal and cultural, blending water views, contemporary art, and architectural elegance into a gentle, forward-moving gesture. Each arch in the expansion becomes a threshold, between innovation and nature, between past rhythms and future questions. In the forests of Jevnaker, Norway, the Twist Museum opened in 2019, its bridge-like form bending across the Randselva River. Built from 2014 to 2019, designed by Big Bark Ingels Group, the structure is both building and sculpture, a gallery that rotates mid-span by 90 degrees. Clad in aluminum panels, it appears to turn gently as you approach, like a folded ribbon of thought. Inside, the galleries shift from wide to narrow, offering quiet transitions that echo the winding path outside. Light slips in softly from slits and skylights, illuminating art with northern restraint. In New York's dense city fabric, Jungle City, 2017, rises as a whispering tower wrapped in over 1,000 green terraces. Built from 2014 to 2017, designed by shop architects, its step silhouette drips with foliage, vines and shrubs that soften concrete and glass with living texture. Each balcony garden filters air, absorbs sound, and invites birds to rest. The greenery is structured but unruly, a building that breathes quietly with every leaf. Over time, those same terraces mature, shrubs become small trees, vines link one balcony to another, and the facade softly changes with seasons and season cycles. The tower feels alive. In Kuala Lumpur, Merdeka 118 took shape gradually from 2016 to 2022, rising to nearly 678 meters. Construction started in 2014. Its slender silhouette, inspired by local Malay geometric motifs, anchors the Merdeka precinct. As construction progressed, each prismatic facade panel shimmered in evolving daylight, from scaffolding to skyline focal point. Though phases continue, what stands today forms a quiet spine of glass and steel, part cathedral of commerce, part subtle homage to national identity. At night the tower shifts in tone, low-level lights tracing its base before fading upward into darkness, a calm vertical beacon under tropical skies. Merdeka 118 in Kuala Lumpur rises as a crystal-shaped spire, tapering skyward in panels of geometrically patterned glass that catch Malaysia's sunlight. Designed to echo local motifs, its prismatic facade shifts from shimmer to shadow through the day. Rising through the years, construction began in 2014. It anchors a new civic precinct, poised to be more than a tower, but a slender spine of national identity gently reflected in rivers and rooftops. Observation decks near the top will offer wide, contemplative views of a city growing upward, quietly aligning tradition and ambition in one shimmering silhouette. In Kuala Lumpur, the Exchange 105 finalized its phases in the last few years, completing the second tower cluster at Tun Razak Exchange. Construction began in 2014. Rising above its surroundings, its sleek glass form joins the financial skyline with measured presence. The stepped setbacks reduce wind load, while the landscaped podium below integrates public gardens and shaded walkways. The building's form is not daring, it is confident, reflective, quiet, part of a collective strategy, not a solo note. Inside, office spaces open to terraces and co-working levels, places meant for pause, quiet meetings, and sun-filtered reflection. In Los Angeles, the Walt Disney Concert Hall expansion opened softly in recent years, extending Gary's original curves with new public plazas and interior spaces. The Walt Disney Concert Hall expansion in Los Angeles began construction in 2015 and was completed in 2021. The titanium filaments of the original hull continue, but these new forms unfold in warmer steel and stone, easing into pedestrian pathways. Acoustic improvements and added gathering spaces ripple outward, soft notes added to the city's cultural melody, honoring the old hall's voice while broadening its quiet resonance. The new facade materials, bronze and sandstone, blend with existing titanium, smoothing transitions between park and performance space. The Shed in New York, opened in 2019, was designed to transform. Construction began in 2015. Located at Hudson Yards, it features a telescoping outer shell that glides along rails, expanding the space when needed. Designed by Diller Scofidio plus Renfro with the Rockwell Group, it adapts like a lung, growing, shifting, opening. Inside, performance spaces, galleries, and public areas respond to human scale and need. Steel, glass, and wheels move slowly and deliberately, as though the building breathes in rhythm with the city it serves. In the heart of JFK Airport, the TWA Hotel resurrects Eero Saarinen's 1962 flight center. Reopened in 2019, restoration work started in 2015. It wraps mid-century elegance in modern comfort. The original swooping roof, like wings about to lift, remains untouched, a sculpture of aviation's golden age. Glass walls, brass fixtures, and red carpets evoke a past not lost, but gently reawakened. Planes pass silently outside while inside, time seems to circle, a terminal transformed into a timeless resting place. Zaha Hadid's Liza Soho in Beijing, completed in 2019, splits elegantly down the middle, forming the world's tallest atrium at 194 meters. Construction began in 2015. The building's two halves twist as they rise, connected by skybridges that look like silk threads pulled taut. The atrium fills with light that drifts downward through the central void, bathing every level in calm radiance. The glass facade curves with ease, a quiet ripple across the skyline. It is architecture in motion, frozen at the moment of turn. One Vanderbilt, completed in 2020 beside Grand Central Terminal in New York, ascends with clean edges and steady grace. Construction started in 2016. Designed by KPF, the tower rises 427 meters, tapering in soft setbacks that respect the rhythms of the city's classic forms. Its glass surface is etched with vertical lines, catching sunlight in shadow and calm alternation. Beneath, new transit connections and public space echo the tower's purpose, linking old and new, movement and stillness, street and sky. At Dhahran, Saudi Arabia, the King Abdulaziz Center for World Culture, ITHRA, expanded between 2016 and 2020, adding galleries, a library, and outdoor plazas around OMA's original ribbon-like structure. The original building was completed in 2016. The building's sweeping form, its fluid white concrete curves, anchors new zones for education, performances, and gardens. The expanded space frames the desert sky with a gentle embrace, as though sculpture has become habitat, and culture pulses inside architectural flow. New terraces offer shaded places to sit, and water features glimmer in sunlight, quiet invitations to pause amid scholarly exhibits and public programming. Construction of Chengdu Tianfu International Airport's Terminal 1 began in 2016, opening in 2021 as a gateway blending modern innovation with regional inspiration. Its expansive glass facades flood the interior with natural light, while sweeping rooflines echo the gentle undulations of Sichuan's surrounding landscapes. Inside, Spacious halls and clear sightlines guide travelers calmly through check-in and security, designed for smooth, thoughtful flow. The terminal's design balances high-tech efficiency with soft materials and warm tones, inviting visitors to move at an unhurried pace amid bustling travel. Public art and greenery punctuate the space, grounding the modern hub in local culture and nature's quiet presence. The Museum of the Future in Dubai opened in 2022. Construction started in 2016. Its elliptical form floats seemingly unsupported, with a white facade punctuated by Arabic calligraphy carved into stainless steel, glowing softly at night. The building's structure is a complex engineering feat, balancing daring design with functional space inside for exhibitions and innovation labs. It whispers of tomorrow with quiet confidence, a soft beacon in the desert night. Inside, visitors explore emerging technologies and ideas, wrapped in an environment that feels both futuristic and profoundly human. The tower at Dubai Creek Harbor seeks to redefine the desert skyline, a slender mesh spire planned to eclipse Burj Khalifa. Its tapering form blends glass, steel, and sky gardens, intended to drift skyward like a sail caught in the Gulf breeze. Though construction continues, work began in 2016. The emerging silhouette already promises a quiet revolution in height and form. Designed by Santiago Calatrava, the tower's elegant cable system and observation platforms are imagined as petals held aloft, floating structures rooted in lightness, not mass. The tower at Dubai Creek Harbor is still under construction and has no confirmed finished date yet. Its completion has been delayed multiple times, and as of now, no official finish year has been announced. Riyadh's King Salman Park Phase 1, opened in 2023, brought green terraces, pedestrian boulevards, and cultural pavilions to a vast desert site. The master planning and groundwork started in 2017. The master plan transforms former sand into landscape, trees, lawns, streams, and pedestrian-only zones. Intended to be one of the world's largest public parks, the initial phase offers quiet gardens and shaded walkways, a soft antidote to urban heat and traffic. The future city grows beneath retreat and shade. Gray water recycling and native plantings extend ecological calm across wide, slow-moving plazas. New York's Spiral achieved full completion in 2023 to 2024, the project began in 2017. Its terraces wrapping each floor in green ribbons spiraling upward. Rooftop gardens cascade down the building's core, softening edges with planted steps. The completed office is now open to light-filled interiors, where glass walls and shaded terraces evoke a vertical park. The Spiral's gesture is not dramatic, it is quietly alive. A building that breathes in photosynthesis and community, where every level holds a pocket of calm in the vertical pace of city life. In New York's Chelsea district, Zaha Hadid's 520 West 28th Street opened its sweeping facade in 2023. Construction began in 2018. Clad in reflective stainless steel and glass, the tower curves like molten metal frozen mid-flow. Inside, ceiling heights vary, floor plates shift, and light tumbling through windows fill sculptural spaces. Residential interiors feel expansive yet grounded, draped by metallic shapes that echo Hadid's signature motion and stillness. The building stands as a quiet gesture of formal poetry and material. At night, exterior lighting outlines fluid lines, turning the stainless skin into a soft glowing motion frozen in time. Paris's The Ribbon, completed recently, twists along the Seine with a gentle complexity. Construction started in 2019. The mixed-use tower's subtle curvature, vertical gardens stepping along the facade, combines commercial, residential, and recreational spaces. Sustainable features like solar shading and urban greenery integrate with the sinuous form. From afar, it reads like art; up close, it breathes with planted terraces and soft light transitions. The building is a slow ribbon laid across the city, holding zones of human activity with sculpted ease. Rooftop gardens further buffer wind and invite bees, birds, and soft ecosystems into the skyline. Rio de Janeiro's Museum of Tomorrow expansion, opening in recent years, extends the original Calatrava structure with new wings for exhibitions and outdoor decks over the water. Construction on the expansion began in 2019. The added spaces echo the ribbed forms of the original, but turn inward to create contemplative gardens and reflection pools. Exhibits on climate and ecology now flow between wings as though the building itself is evolving. The expansion breathes additional space into the museum's original promise. At dusk, the facades reflect orange light on still water, architecture as twilight meditation. Guggenheim Abu Dhabi's Phase 1, expected around 2023 to 2024, begins to take shape near the waterfront as part of a future cultural complex. Groundbreaking occurred in 2019. Frank Gehry's design melds bold curves and soaring volumes with shaded outdoor plazas and galleries opening to the sea breeze. Even in early completion, the structure reads as sculpture, its forms poised between sea and city, promising art sheltered beneath grand, quiet gestures. In early phases, landscaped terraces and coral-hued pathways frame entrances with soft transition spaces before glass doors open inward. Berlin's Mercedes-Benz Arena received a modern renovation in 2023, smoothing its oval shell with updated glass panels and interior flow. The renovation work began in 2021. The arena's new facade softens its lighting transitions, creating a calm glow at dusk. Inside, circulation patterns were improved to reduce crowding, corridors widened, concourses opened. Despite the high-energy events inside, the architecture was tuned to respect rhythm and human scale, turning a stadium into a quieter civic stage at night. Acoustic treatments were also refined, ceiling panels and sound baffles now echo less, enhancing musical and visual clarity. In New York, the spiral extension completed as of 2023 to 2024, adds new office floors and rooftop gardens spiraling around the central core. Construction started in 2021. The tower's gradual staircase of terraces holds greenery that drips downward like slow-motion foliage. Each stepped roof layer offers outdoor space, softening the vertical form. The extension blends seamlessly, not jarring, but extending a gesture of verdant rhythm upward into the skyline. Inside, landscaped indoor atria connect floors quietly, green walls soften corridors and filter light into working spaces. Riyadh's Kingdom Tower Phase 2 and expansions, slated for 2024 to 2025, extend the soaring landmark into a multifaceted megastructure. Preparatory work started in 2021. New volumes of glass and stepped terraces complement the original skybridge. Designed for mixed use, residential, cultural, hospitality, the expanded silhouette softens in planes and curves, anchoring itself in desert light yet floating above with terrace gardens and shaded arcs. These new forms echo the original while weaving in water features and plazas that cool the footprint, turning scale into quiet hospitality. Construction began in 2021 for Mexico City Airport's Terminal 2, expected in 2024, extends the airport's footprint with a vaulted, daylit concourse beneath a gently arching roof. The new terminal uses steel trusses and skylights to balance natural illumination with thermal comfort in the highland climate. Circulation flows across memory-based art installations and public gardens. Functional yet sculptural, it transforms travel into measured journeys of space and light. The curved rooflines echo volcanic terrain beyond, inviting travelers to pause beneath open arches before flight. Work started in 2022 for Riyadh's Saudi National Bank Tower, slated for 2024 to 2025, rises as a crystalline volume of glass and steel, its vertical form anchored with shaded terraces and carved voids on the skyline's upper levels. Designed to join the financial district's iconic towers, it stages light through layered facades and sustainable systems, including solar canopy and open-air corridors, for a soft urban crescendo. The tower's rhythm is deliberate, built not for spectacle but for endurance, wrapped in quiet clarity and reflective pause. In the heart of Athens, foundations settled quietly in early 2023, giving birth to the Riviera Tower. Rising to nearly 200 meters, this residential skyscraper embraces green ideals, aiming for LEED Gold. Its slender frame promises to softly reshape the skyline, inviting life and light to dance through its glass walls. As it climbs, it echoes Athens' ancient spirit with modern grace, standing tall amid olive trees and history's whispers, a gentle yet determined new neighbor in a city of timeless stones and sunlit streets. Along the bustling banks of the Huangpu River, the Shanghai North Bund Center began its journey in March 2023. This soaring 97-story tower will stand tall and proud by 2030, blending office, hotel, and observation spaces. It whispers of Shanghai's ambition, a gleaming needle piercing the clouds, framing the city's ceaseless rhythm in steel and glass. By day, it mirrors the river's flow; by night, it glows softly, a beacon in the sprawling urban tapestry where old rivers meet new dreams. September of 2023 marked the start of a new chapter in Tokyo's skyline. The Torch Tower, destined to rise about 385 meters, will become Japan's tallest skyscraper by 2028. This super-tall mixed-use tower promises to catch the city's lights, reflecting a future of innovation and quiet strength. Its ascent is a testament to the city's endless pursuit of progress, anchored firmly in tradition, where neon pulses meet ancient temples, and steel climbs toward the sun with grace and ambition entwined. In the crisp Scandinavian air of October 2023, Stockholm City began to grow, not upwards, but across with thoughtful purpose. This ambitious mass timber neighborhood seeks harmony between nature and urban life, spreading its wooden arms over the cityscape. By 2027, it will offer 2,000 homes, offices, and schools, a quiet revolution in sustainable living, shaped by gentle craftsmanship and environmental care. Like a forest slowly reclaiming the city, its wooden structures breathe warmth and invite connection beneath the northern lights' soft glow. In Nashville's vibrant heart, 2024 saw the ground stir beneath the Paramount Tower. Rising to approximately 750 feet across 60 floors, this tower will soon crown the city's skyline. It hums with the city's musical soul, promising a new landmark where sound and sight converge, awaiting its debut in 2027. Its steel bones resonate with echoes of country ballads and jazz riffs, while glass facades capture sunsets, inviting a new harmony between skyline and song. Amid London's historic streets, 2024 brought a promise of green innovation. The East Tower at 2 Finsbury Avenue begins its climb, aspiring to 37 stories of net-zero carbon brilliance. Though its final chapter remains unwritten, its form speaks of a future where architecture and ecology meet in harmony. It stands poised between centuries-old stone and glass, weaving sustainability into the city's tapestry like a quiet breath of fresh air in the metropolis. In Dhaka, 2024 welcomed the start of the MGI Tower, a slender giant rising toward the sky with 39 floors. Destined to house one of the city's first Grand Hyatt hotels, it will become a beacon of modern luxury and hospitality, quietly reshaping the urban tapestry. Amid the vibrant chaos below, it promises refuge and elegance, a cool breeze rising through concrete jungles and warm streets filled with stories. The hum of progress began in late 2024 at Shida, where the nuclear power plant's expansion aims to light the region for decades. By 2032, this powerful endeavor will swell capacity to 4,800 megawatts, an energy heartbeat sustained by careful engineering and quiet determination. The towers rise steady and silent, guardians of a future fueled by controlled fire, where science and nature balance on the edge of light. In the lush landscapes of Kedah, Malaysia, the Area Data Center campus took root in the final months of 2024. This hyperscale hub of digital life will grow until 2028, a quiet sentinel in the world of data, storing and streaming the lifeblood of our connected age. Its servers hum beneath the tropical sun, an invisible web weaving together voices, images, and dreams across continents. In Dallas, 2025 heralds the beginning of a $5 billion dream, a pediatric medical campus where healing and hope will intertwine. Though its completion lies ahead, its foundations are already set with care, promising a sanctuary for young lives to thrive. Bright halls will one day hum softly with laughter and calm, a place where science meets compassion beneath gentle Texas skies. The sun itself watches over Callahan County as 2025 births the Sequoia Solar Farm. Valued at $1.1 billion, this vast energy field will soon capture daylight in service of the future, a gentle giant turning sunlight into power, quietly sustaining the land. Panels like leaves stretch wide, drinking light in silence, fueling homes and dreams with warmth and quiet resilience. Under the Pacific skies of Honolulu, the Ulan Award Village Tower rises from dreams begun in 2025. A mixed-use oasis blending homes and commerce, it will offer island life with a modern pulse, a soft rhythm amid ocean breezes. Palm shadows dance on glass facades as city life meets sea spray, a harmonious blend of island ease and urban energy. Miami's vibrant world welcomes gem residences, where luxury and comfort will weave together starting in 2025. This development, resting in the heart of the city, promises spaces where the sun and sea mingle with everyday life, awaiting the future's embrace. Balconies overlook turquoise waters, while inside, soft light filters through elegant halls, inviting a life both bright and serene. In Wilmington, a $750 million facility rises in 2025, blending human ingenuity and robotic precision. The Amazon Robotics Fulfillment Center hums with quiet efficiency, a modern temple of logistics where technology and industry entwine seamlessly. Conveyors glide like silent rivers, robots move in choreographed grace, an unseen dance powering countless daily lives. Microsoft plants its digital roots in Wisconsin in 2025, crafting a billion-dollar data campus. This vast, silent network will cradle the future of cloud computing, humming softly beneath the northern skies. Servers pulse gently like a heartbeat, storing infinite knowledge in dreams within walls that echo innovation and quiet ambition. And in Texas, the monumental Oracle Stargate Data Center begins in 2025, an extraordinary $100 billion venture. It stands as a beacon for AI's unfolding era, a quiet giant where silicon and code will reshape the world. Beneath sprawling roofs, circuits pulse like veins, carrying the power to reimagine what machines, and humans, can create together. Well, now, my sleepy friend, if your eyes are closed, if your thoughts are drifting, then my job here is done for today. Thank you for spending this unremarkable moment with me. You have listened to The Sleepy Sloth, where uninteresting things become the softest lullabies.